on the perimeter and seeing the game through a different set of eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps, especially in terms of my ball skills as playing as a receiver. And then as a corner, just understanding how to read a quarterback's eyes and when to break and things like that. I think that those have all helped me into the linebacker that I am today.
You are coming to a team, Logan, with a obvious need at your position. Are you aware of the Bengals' situation at linebacker and the likelihood that you'll have an opportunity to play right away?
Yeah, I know they needed a linebacker, and I'm very looking forward to the opportunity to come in and earn the respect of the guys in the locker room, and then just be able to fly around and make some plays. And, I'm going to play at the very high effort. Bengals fans can count on that. So, I'm going to give Cincinnati everything I have.
Are there any guys in the league that you watch on tape at all? Are there any linebackers that you watch? I know making the position switch. Were there guys you modeled your game after?
I think Luke Kuechly is always a good one to watch. It's weird being asked that question because I never used to watch linebackers growing up because I was a defensive back. So I used to watch like Champ Bailey as a corner. But in terms of linebackers, Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner's another good one, and so is Deion Jones with the Falcons.
How do you see yourself? A 3-down backer, what does that mean to you? How would you describe your game? Sorry about that.
No, that was my fault. I got a call from Coach Duffner.
That's a big surprise. How many times have you talked to him since the Senior Bowl, Duff?
I don't know exactly. Probably 3-4 times.
I was just asking about your style of play. How would you describe it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I apologize. I think that being a 3-down linebacker just means that you're able to play the run and you're able to play the pass. I think that being able to play coverage as a linebacker is something that NFL teams look for in today's game, especially in the NFL where it's a really big passing league. And so being able to play coverage is huge. And I definitely think I can do that.
Watching you at the Senior Bowl, you took it very, very seriously. You were early everywhere. It looked like it was a business trip for you all the way. I mean, what was your thought process when you were preparing yourself to go down there for Senior Bowl week?
Just stick to everything that's got me to this point. That's just kind of how I roll. It wasn't like the way I carried myself at the Senior Bowl was different than how I carry myself when no one's watching. I always carry myself the same way. Just always that business-like mentality in everything I do.
What has this draft process been like for you? Can you describe just kind of how you've been following along and who's there with you?
It's been kind of hectic as kind of planned, so to say, through the whole pre-draft process. There's a lot of interviews and medicals and physicals and psychological tests that kind of goes on throughout this whole process. But it's been good. I wouldn't change it, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm very thankful and very happy to be a Cincinnati Bengal.
How familiar are you with the style of play in the AFC North? It's known as a very physical division. Linebacker play extremely important. You got Lamar Jackson. You're going to have to be dealing with in space, and I mean it's physical, but they'll still spread you out and try to get isolations. And I mean, do you know much about the AFC North, and how big a challenge do you think it might be?
I mean, I think it's going to be a very competitive division, but I think that that's what is going to make us better as a team, playing against those guys twice a year. I'm excited to have the opportunity to play against those teams in the AFC North, and I do know that it's a tough division. It always has been. It's always something that's it's been the division that's usually the tough that you kind of learn about in terms of the AFC side in the NFL.
I see you had 10 interceptions in your career at Wyoming. How does a 240-pound linebacker wind up with 10 picks?
That's just a credit to my ball skills background and just reading and reacting and making plays on the ball. I think that I do play coverage well, but I think that's because I was I grew up playing as a defensive back, playing safety and corner. And I think that that's helped me progress in the coverage aspect as a linebacker.
Logan, how much did you talk to defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, and what kind of sense of the defense did you get when talking to him?
I didn't really talk to him a whole lot. I talked to more Coach Golden was the most I talked to. So we just kind of talked about my defense and that kind of stuff. So it was good conversations with him though.
Yeah. Also, are you rocking pearl snaps?
Pearl snaps.
The shirt, yeah, the pearl snaps. Okay, well, we'll explain it when you get to Cincy. Don't worry about it. So
okay, I was gonna say I don't have any idea what that is.
Let me ask you, what would you rather do, or what's your preference? Interception, throw a running back for a yard loss on third down, or sack a quarterback on a blitz?
Is there a certain situation or just any situation?
What gives you the biggest thrill?
Interception.
Interception. Any pick sixes in your career?
Yeah, I had a couple. I had a couple.
Really? Cool.
Logan, is
Did
this
you
where
start?
to
Go ahead,
off
James.
the board, or was it? Were you surprised to go off the board this early, or were you expecting to go sooner?
I wasn't really sure where I was going to go. I was kind of expecting to go today at some point. It's just a matter of when. Just it's hard to say where you're going to go at a certain time because there's so many things that can happen with the draft. But I'm very thankful to be a Bengal.
Have you ever experienced anything like this, waiting to get called and the uncertainty of it?
No, I have not. It was definitely pretty stressful, kind of waiting around, just waiting to get a phone call.
The Bengals, Zach Taylor was saying that they consider themselves fortunate because they did have you rated, fairly high in the second round. And for you to be there when you were there, they feel exceptionally fortunate about it. Had you been contacted by any other teams that you thought might pull the trigger on you?
It's hard to say. I wasn't really sure. I wasn't personally contacted by any other teams. My agent might have been, but like I said, it was kind of hard to say. Everything has to kind of fall together in certain ways. There's so many different ways that things can fall, and so I wasn't sure exactly who else was in the mix.
What are you studying, and how close are you to your degree?
I graduated in December with a kinesiology degree.
Kinesiology, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about med school or what?
No, I just like health and fitness, so just got that so I can use that whenever I'm done playing football.
Sweet. You're a rehab guy, huh?
A little bit. I like to take care of myself, though.
Can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing with rural environment, I assume? Did you have a lot of outdoor pursuits?
I used to a little bit. I used to go hunting with my dad growing up, but it was kind of harder in college because football season's in the fall, and so is hunting season. So that's kind of hard to get away then. We'd occasionally go in the spring and go turkey hunting with my dad, and so that's always been good. But everything kind of got limited more so once football came.
Growing up in Wyoming, who did you root for? What NFL team?
When I was growing up, I was a Broncos fan.
Well, when did this start feeling like a realistic possibility? I mean, you're a two-star coming out of high school, switch positions. When did the light go on? When did things really kind of click during your college career?
Like that. I finally realized I had a chance to play in the NFL. Yeah. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
I think that it was probably more towards the end of my junior year. Once that season ended and we started doing, we did a junior day where they measure your height and weight and stuff on the NFL scouts too. And I think that's kind of when I realized that I might have a shot at playing in the NFL.
When did you hit your growth spurt? When was it a steady process? Was there a year where it just kind of filled out big time, or was it just over time?
It was just over time. I gradually put on weight. I got to Wyoming at 195 pounds. And just throughout the course of those 5 years that I was there, I just continued to put on weight.
It's a heck of an honor to be a three-time captain. You know, you're talking about different guys, in some cases electing you to be the team leader. What did that mean to you?
For me, that was the best award I received while I was at Wyoming. That one means the world to me because the guys that select that are the guys that you go to battle with day in and day out, the guys that you grind with day in and day out. And I think that when they see the body of work you put in, they look up to you as a leader is very humbling and very, it's a very good feeling to have that respect from your teammates.
It says you had 34 and a half tackles behind 34 and a half tackles for loss. That would seem to indicate you've got some instincts there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have instincts. I think I read and react to plays very well, and I think that's why I have those career stats.
Logan, you what's the biggest thing you feel like you need to work on as you adjust the NFL? And I guess what's the biggest going from a G5 program to the NFL? I mean, what are some discrepancies you think you're gonna have to account for?
I mean, I think a given is that the game's going to be obviously like another level. Everything's going to be bigger, faster, and stronger again. And so I just come.
Oh,
sorry.
No, you're good.
I got another call. Making sure I got my technique down, and just making sure I continue to work on my technique with hand placement, things like that. And then just understanding the defense, getting to learn my position and everyone's around me too.
Were you pretty tight with Josh Allen at all?
Yeah, I was pretty close with him. You know, I haven't talked to him a whole lot. I talked to him before the pre-draft process started for me, but he left a couple of years ago. So
yeah, that's what I figured because I knew there was an age gap there. But what kind of, you know, you said you talked to him a little bit from pre-draft. What kind of advice did he give you? You know, because he made that jump a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty simple. He just said, "Be yourself." That's kind of all I needed. So.
From a film study standpoint, in preparation for games on game day during the course of the week, when did you learn how to watch film? I mean, there's watching film. Sometimes guys don't know what the hell they're looking at or how they're breaking it down. When did you learn to actually watch film that would benefit you on game day?
I would say my sophomore year is when I really started to understand what to kind of look for while watching film. Scotty Hazelton, my former linebackers coach, he previously, before he came to us, he was the linebackers coach for the Jaguars. And he kind of would teach us how to watch film, what to look for, things like that. So the way I watch film now is a credit to him.
Anything else, guys?
Congratulations.
Yep, congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Logan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.